Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Shot Sports. I'm Dan. He's Danny. What's it fucking matter? I'm a Giants fan and I'm pissed.
Yeah, Giants game just ended, guys.
Danny,
Uh,
you're supposed to be the enthusiastic one here because I can't be.
yo, what's up, guys?
Thank you. You need to
I'm
bring the
being.
positive energy.
Let me bring the positive energy because in our weekly pick'em, I had the Washington football team winning, and
So
I'm
did
not
I.
a Giants fan, so I'm
I'm a
happy.
Giants fan and I even had us losing. And that was before Fitzpatrick went down, too.
You're still a little loud if you want to like turn your mic down a little bit.
All right. I apologize.
Nah, it's okay.
I
But
have the gain like almost all the way down. This is a hold the mic episode
yeah,
because I'm upset.
you want to give us the rundown?
Um, I could only give so much because there's only so much. Shout out to my shift manager tonight, Riley, for letting me play the game on the speaker at Starbucks so that I could still pay attention while closing.
Yes, sir.
uh, I mean, well, let's talk about the two opportunities that the Giants. Let's talk about the three opportunities that the Giants had that took scores off of the scoreboard. Um, I I don't know where my phone is right now. I have it. Let me pull up his name really quickly. CJ Board had the holding call on
Yep.
Daniel Jones's rushing touchdown.
Yep.
Darius Slayton, ball touches your hands. You got to catch that. It
I mean,
touches your hands. You have to cut. Yeah, you have to.
it touches both of his hands.
He's got to catch that.
That's
Um,
even if it tips up a little bit, you gotta at least make an effort to dive for it, in my opinion.
and finally, the Giants needed they needed a touchdown after that James Bradbury interception.
Yes,
They
sir.
they cared too much about chewing the clock, which I agree they needed to do. But you know how your offensive line has been both these two games. They're not creating good enough holes for Saquon to get through. Um, I think they needed to pass. I think they needed to worry about putting up points rather than chewing the clock, though. And
Yeah.
I think once it got to second down, they should have realized that. And the Giants should have won this game, but Danny, get ready to edit. Dexter fucking Lawrence
Yeah.
and his get ready one more time and his fucking false start. Dustin Hopkins missed the 48-yarder, but then I'm not even gonna lie. I also for a second thought he missed the 43, but then it started to go in at the end. I got really
Yeah.
excited. I thought he missed the 43.
I didn't.
I
Also, I'm editing this probably either the next day or so we're recording this Thursday. Obviously, the game just ended. I'm
excuse me.
editing this Friday and it'll be up Friday, or I'm editing this Saturday, which is more likely because I got work. I got like a 9-hour shift tomorrow, and I'm not gonna edit it tonight. Like that's just not gonna happen.
All right.
So so
So what?
so
So when will this probably be uploaded?
this will be up Saturday, definitely.
So by the time that so tomorrow.
But shut up,
Oh
Dan.
wait, sorry. We're
It's
recording this
midnight.
at 12:04 on Friday the 17th
It's
at
it's
12:04 in the
midnight,
morning.
guys. It's midnight. He's
Yeah.
one of those guys.
So yeah.
And also if you can't tell,
Technically tomorrow. So by the time that the people are listening to this, I'll be in Happy Valley for
yeah.
Penn State Auburn whiteout game. I started tonight by yelling about James Bradbury's interception and being very excited, and then Dexter Lawrence's offsides call. I'm gonna lose my voice Saturday night.
Yep. And he's just by the time that we record, he's not gonna have a voice. So that's
Right?
cool.
I
Um,
mean, James Franklin's got me covered though. He said that he will buy. He said he will buy halls for the students if it means that we're loud and we lose our voices.
oh, you're gonna need it. If you guys can't tell, Rob and Matt are not joining us. Matt is at college, and Rob couldn't tonight. So that's just how it
This is more
goes.
of a little chill episode
Yeah,
because
well,
we're both tired.
yeah, I'm pretty
I
tired.
just I just made coffee for 7.5 hours.
I like the vibe that's going on right now. I played 2K a lot today. It's a long day.
Should we do this more often? More like chill podcasts.
I like this.
I
I
like
think
this too.
I think it's a vibe.
This is little. This isn't No Shot Sports right now. Actually, this is Dan and Danny Talk Sports.
This is Dan and Danny Radio right now. This
Yeah,
is our future.
it really is.
But let's talk about, let's give the people a little schedule.
Right.
Me and Studer were talking about it. We figured that it'd be best if we actually gave you guys a schedule so when stuff will come out. Wednesdays and Saturdays, that's when you should look for stuff. Wednesdays will be our recap of the previous week plus Thursday night predictions, because we do that weekly predictions, which we will get into this episode. And then our Saturday episode will be our next week preview. So say it's, right now it is beginning of week 2 going into week 2 Sunday. So our Wednesday would be a week 1 recap plus a week 2 Thursday night game. And then our Saturday would be a week 2 Thursday night recap plus week 2 preview. So I feel like that'd be the easiest way to,
plus week 2 preview.
Yeah, of the rest of the games.
Okay. All right.
So we'll recap the Thursday night game.
Right.
Games. I feel like that'd be the easiest way to do stuff and the best way to get content to you guys, the ones that like to watch us. So I think that'd be cool. Right. So you guys got a timeline. If you are a diehard fan of No Shot Sports and you really want to listen to us when we come out,
maybe all like 3 of you. We love you. We do.
We do. You guys.
I'm hoping they're Gumps because they have a special place in my heart.
Listen, whatever you want to call them, man. If they're Gumps, if they're not Gumps,
it's all of my Twitter friends that went to Alabama.
Yes, sir. I know what the Gumps are. I know who the Gumps are. We love the Gumps. We love the Gumps. But if you're not the Gumps,
shout out Kevin. We love the Gumps.
Shout out everybody who listens. You guys are the best.
Right. Okay. Going back to the game really quickly before we even talk about the rest of our predictions for week 2. I want to bring up maybe like 1 or 2 more points about tonight's game since it just happened.
Yeah, of course.
Daniel Jones looked a lot better than he did in week 1.
Very much so.
If there is one thing that I really didn't like about Daniel Jones in week 1, and I still saw it tonight in week 2, I guess he just had a better outcome in these situations. He doesn't turn his head enough. Like Jones, when he breaks that huddle and he goes to the line, he's already got his receiver in mind of who he wants to go to, whether it's Shepard, whether it's Slayton, whether it's Kyle Rudolph. But he doesn't do enough to make it seem like he's got options.
Yeah.
If he wants Kyle Rudolph, he's going to keep his head and his eyes on Kyle Rudolph, and the defense is going to read that, and they're just going to put 2 men on him. And he's just going to wait, because that's another thing. Week 1, there were too many times where Daniel Jones threw into double, triple coverage. So I feel like he's got to really work on his acting and just put his head on a swivel, make it seem like he knows that he has options rather than being so locked in on the one guy. And like I said, it worked a lot more tonight than it did in week 1. But I definitely think that that's something that Jones can improve on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everybody knows I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones fan, but he definitely was the best player on the field tonight. But besides
Sterling Shepard, I think he had a great game.
Sterling Shepard has very much so exceeded my expectations this season. Going into the season, I was very vocal about how I didn't feel like the Giants had a good receiving core, and I'm being proved wrong. And 2 weeks in a row, Kenny Galladay is Kenny Galladay. Wide receiver number 1. Evan Ingram. He sucks, but Kyle Rudolph seems to be a very valuable option for Daniel Jones. Sterling Shepard seems to be a very valuable option. Darius Slayton, besides that one play where he didn't, where he chopped the touchdown that would have won you guys the game, he had the other touchdown where it was a very good pass by Daniel Jones, but also a very underrated catch by Darius Slayton, where he got his feet in bounds, both feet dragged, and it was a very good catch.
And Rudolph was really good with Minnesota. So I was very excited when over the offseason I heard about the Giants signing him.
Yeah. I mean,
I was very excited for that.
I'm quite obviously a Steelers fan, so I'm a big fan of multiple tight end sets, having having at least two good tight ends on your team that are able to make plays on the field, but also kind of block is very valuable to the Steelers organization. So any other team that goes for it, I'm a big fan, like the Patriots right now with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. I love that tight end core. It's just great. But
sorry, just one more thing that I wanna bring up is did you see speaking of Galladay, did you see him yelling at Daniel Jones? It was like what, a couple plays before Bradbury's interception?
Yeah, they were on the sideline. I was watching
He
it
was
with my
not.
girlfriend.
I also think that there potentially could have been a missed pass interference call on defensive pass interference, considering the fact that the guy literally wrapped his hands around. I don't know
Oh
who it was
yeah,
from
I know.
Washington. He literally wrapped his hands around Galladay's shoulders.
Was it Fuller? Was it Kyle Fuller?
It could have been. It was that same drive. It was
I know
that
what player
same
you're talking
drive.
about. I know what
Because
player you're talking
I
about,
think
though.
it was I think it was on first or second down.
Mhm.
Then they tried going to, I think they tried running it with Saquon, and then I think it became fourth down. Sorry, like I said, I don't exactly remember all the time. I should have written it down, but I think there could have potentially, maybe I'm just being salty, but I think there was a possibility for a missed pass interference call there.
No, because even the commentators were talking about how the refs saw they were right there, saw there was a lot of contact and they were letting them play.
Oh, yeah. And they even said that too about CJ Board's holding call. They said that even in slow mo, there really wasn't that much to see there.
Yeah.
So I think that was a bad call by the refs, and that is a play that eventually wound up costing the Giants the game because Daniel Jones's touchdown would have been, instead they had to settle for 3. Actually,
Yeah.
did they? They did. They got 3 points that drive.
Yeah.
Last point that I just want to make on this game. Giants MVP Graham Gano.
Yeah.
Made two. He was what, 5 for 5, 5 for 5 with 2 over 50 yards, a 50. I want to say 52 and 55.
Yeah, Graham Gano, even after having a stinker last week. Was it him that had it? No, it was Cowboys kicker had a bad week last week.
Right.
I forget his name. My bad. But you had a bad week, so that's tough. But yeah, I think it was a great game to watch down the stretch. Fourth quarter. It's honestly, the whole second half was super entertaining. Terry McLaurin ended with like 30 fantasy points, so maybe that can help me win my league this week. For you guys interested, I went 2-2 last week. I lost 2 leagues. I won 2 leagues.
I'm off to a solid 0-1 start because of DK Metcalf and Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk really did not have a good week. I think
he had he put up a lot of good yards, but if Christian McCaffrey could have scored a touchdown, that probably could have helped me too.
I think it'd be cool if we did if we talked about fantasy a lot on the podcast. Because I feel like I think fantasy is nice to talk about. I think
I don't see why not.
Yeah, not today, obviously, but like
no.
just in the future.
In the future, yeah. When we have Matt and or Rob again.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think it was just a fun game, great primetime game. Washington, New York's always going to be a good primetime game, just because they always end up having a good game, no matter how.
It's because it's a division thing.
Exactly. No matter how lopsided the rosters may seem, Washington definitely has a better roster than New York, but it was a great game. So, do we want to get into predictions or no?
Yes.
No. Wait, before that, let's go over how we did last week.
Oh, right.
You want to go first? You want to do us the honors, or you want me to go first?
I'll start us off.
Start us off.
Unfortunately we don't have Rob's record, but we have ours. I'm starting off my season 9-7. I got worried, honestly. I thought I was starting it off 9-6-1. I know we said that we weren't going to do like a week 1 recap or anything like that. Minnesota should have just kicked the field goal, even though it wasn't like fourth down. They should have kicked the field goal. I think I don't remember who it was, but I thought he was down by contact. I don't think it should have been a fumble. It was ruled a fumble. I don't think it should have been. But that was a really good game between Minnesota and Cincinnati.
A very surprising outcome too. I don't think anybody had Cincinnati winning that game.
Cincinnati did a lot better than I thought.
Hey,
Jamar Chase knows how to catch a football, guys.
it was
Jamar
crazy.
Chase knows how to catch an NFL football.
He was wide open in the end zone, and then it stayed in his hands. That was weird, dude. I was not used to seeing that sight. But
he caught it while having to look for the laces.
weird.
Whoa.
I did not have as much success. I went 8-8, but my Steelers had success, and you know what? I care about that the most out of anything
Yeah, I think
because
they had the special teams play of the week with that blocked punt.
has to be. It's a blocked punt touchdown. That is great. We very much overcame expectations.
You got it.
I got it after one try. But outscoring the Bills 23-6 in the second half. It's nice. It's nice.
I was upset because I had the Bills defense and I was facing the Steelers defense in fantasy.
Yeah, right.
I was very upset.
That's tough. Don't bet against the Steelers. We're always good. We are always good. Tomlin's never had a losing season, and it's not starting this year.
I did not know that. That's actually really interesting. But now that I think about it, he definitely hasn't.
You want to hear something a lot more interesting?
I'd love to.
You know how long the Steelers have been in the NFL, correct?
Isn't he only like their third head coach?
3 head coaches in their entire tenure as a team. We've had 3 different head coaches.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that the Jaguars have had more head coaches in the past 5 years than the Steelers have had in our entire tenure in the NFL.
Right.
It's hilarious.
And that, I mean, you guys have what, 7 rings to prove it?
6.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady has. Does Tom Brady?
He's
have
got 7.
Tom Brady has 7. So yeah. Tom Brady's the only entity in the NFL that has more rings than the Steelers.
Right.
But I went 8-8. Studer probably had the best week out of everybody. I'm not sure what Rob's record is, and Matt didn't do it. Slacker. But Studer's winning right now.
For what we know.
Well,
between the two of us, I'm winning. Yeah. We don't know what's going on with Rob.
So what do we do for the winner at the end of the season? What does the winner get? Bragging rights, or are we gonna,
What about I don't know. What about the person with the worst record has to buy the person with the best record like a T-shirt of their choosing, like a jersey?
I like that. I really like that. We'll have to talk to Matt and Rob about it. But we'll do since Matt didn't do it week 1, we'll do win percentage.
Or honestly, I guess we can do win percentage. Honestly, if we have 4 guys that really do it, maybe even a jersey. $40 a person, $120 jersey.
We can throw
talk about
some money in it. We'll talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a decision that needs to be made right now.
Or a person who comes in last has to give away something to the viewers.
That would help us grow. Make them like and retweet on Twitter. Post it to their story on Instagram.
Come on. You know what I'm talking about. All right. That's stuff that we can talk about off camera though. So let's go into next week. I got the games pulled up on my phone.
All right.
And we'll talk about every game. We'll do a little preview.
I never have it in the same order as you, so this will be fun.
Yeah. I just go by I Google NFL schedule and I go by that order that comes up.
I go by if you go on NFL.com and you click on schedule, that's what I go by.
That takes too many clicks. I just click NFL schedule, load more games.
You're lazy.
Yes, I am. Because I like to do my predictions as late as I can possibly do them, just in case any injuries come out, anything like that.
Smart.
Players don't.
I like to at least get my base and then I'll edit as need be.
I literally did this during the 4th quarter of the game tonight. So didn't put crazy amount of thought into it, but I never do. I go with my gut.
I've had mine done since Tuesday.
So Raiders versus Steelers. I really hope that we have the same outcome this game because the Raiders have injuries and also no run defense. So I'm going with the Steelers in a very convincing blowout win at home.
Danny, I'm also going to go with the Steelers. The Raiders offense looked pretty good on Monday night, but I think Pittsburgh's defense is better.
Yeah.
One thing that I would like to see an improvement on not gonna lie, I love him, but Najee Harris just didn't blow me away.
Yeah, me too. I can understand that.
He's
But
got so much potential.
he does. We just don't have an offensive line.
He's an NFL rookie. Let's cut him some slack. He's a rookie. Sure,
It's
he's a
his
first
first
round
game.
pick.
It's his
It's
first
his,
game.
yeah, it's his
And we
first NFL.
played a good defense. We did play a good defense.
Right.
The
At
Bills
the end of
have
the day, the Bills do have a good defense.
yes, they do. But Najee Harris in fantasy is projected 20 points this week, which is crazy for a running back.
Right.
And we're playing the Raiders, who gave up hella rushing yards against the Ravens. So, and the Ravens do not have a running back like Najee Harris.
That's probably why the Ravens were really in that game.
Yeah, we can talk about the Ravens another day, man. I think they're so overrated this season.
Right.
Well, I mean, after the injuries, they're probably properly rated, but whatever. Different talk for a different day. Niners, Eagles. I think it's definitely possible that we can have different outcomes for this game.
Okay.
I have the Eagles winning, and it's simply because of how well Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith performed in week 1.
You're right. We do have different outlooks. I have the 49ers taking it. Now, there's only so much that you can take away in a game against the Detroit Lions. But I think the Niners overall looked really good. I think that they had a very strong defense, and that's outside of Nick Bosa as well. I think that they've got a good D-line that's going to be able to stop the run, which you're really going to be relying on Hurts's arm in that case. Not that he's got a bad arm necessarily, but I feel like the running game is more of his strong suit.
That's
Care
true.
to disagree?
No. I mean, he's
right.
definitely more of a mobile quarterback. I wouldn't call him like a scrambling
Right.
quarterback. I'd call him more.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
He's
But I would
probably
I would say it's like 60-40 running over passing.
I'd call it like a Patrick Mahomes model where he'll run around the pocket and then pass, but not like he'll pass the line of scrimmage when he has to.
I see that. I can get behind that. I think it could be a close game. Philadelphia really impressed me.
Me too. I was not high on Devonta Smith this week, and then he played very well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Falcons defense just did not show up.
No,
but yeah, I think this has potential to be a close game. I give it to San Fran. Oh, also Jimmy G looked great. Oh my God. And how about Trey Lance? His first NFL pass, a 5-yard touchdown. Good for him.
I love Trey Lance. I really hope he starts soon. Jimmy G's just not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. We've had this conversation. You, me, Matt, Rob with one leg. Whoever's starting in the Niners offense as the quarterback can pass for 100 yards in a game.
Right. Just target Brandon Ayuk.
Please, dude, for my fantasy team.
George Kittle got some touches, so I'll take that. So if you want to throw him even more, I'll take it. But
don't do that. I'm playing against George Kittle this week. Don't do that. But
Jimmy, if you're somehow listening to this, only throw to George Kittle.
Jimmy G, if you're somehow listening to this, I apologize for discrediting your job because you are an amazing athlete. You are an NFL starting quarterback, and I am 19 years old, not playing sports.
You're a 19-year-old thinking that you can take Trae Young on in a while. I'll never let that go.
Not what I said. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not how I meant it. I said if I get the ball first, I can possibly.
You can at least score 1 point.
I could probably score 1 point on Trae Young. I will stand by that. I'm not that good at basketball, but
what's the next game, Danny?
The next game is Texans versus Browns. No, Texans very much impressed me.
Yes.
Week 1.
Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. They were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is not Ohio State Urban Meyer anymore. I seriously, I don't know what happened. I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence to me is one of those guys. I don't know. I feel like I just have some respect for him. I hope that he has a successful career in the NFL. I don't know what happened week one. What happened week one though. But at the end of the day, first off, that was also a great game between talking about the Browns now. Great game last week between the Browns and the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of the playoffs. Like I think it might have been 2 years ago at this point, 3 years ago, when Baltimore had a really big lead on Kansas City and they came back.
Houston.
Oh, it was Houston. I don't know why I thought it was Baltimore. I'm sorry.
It was Houston. I remember that game. One of my favorite games I've ever watched.
Wait, are you sure it was Houston?
Houston, Kansas City. Houston had like a 28-point lead.
You're
in the
right. It
first
was
half.
Houston.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Either way, it was giving me those kind of vibes.
Yeah. But you know what Juju
But
said?
at the end of the day, the Browns are the Browns.
Yes, sir.
Well, to me, the Browns are a pretty good NFL squad. I had them beating Houston.
I agree. The Browns, even in a loss, are ranked number 6 in the NFL's power rankings right now. That's because of how well they performed in week one. And they played the Kansas City Chiefs, and they had a lead most of the game. They played very well. Baker showed out.
And no disrespect to the Houston Texans, who had an amazing week one. It's just that at the end of the day, the Browns are the better team.
Yeah.
Overall.
And honestly, big respect goes out to Tyrod Taylor. Made another NFL start with the Houston Texans after his trainer probably tried to kill him by accidentally stabbing his lung. How do you do that?
I don't know.
But whatever. Good thing for Tyrod Taylor, proving how he's a starting quality NFL quarterback. We love you, Tyrod.
And I'm assuming that Cleveland will have Beckham back for week 2.
Nope.
It won't.
Nope. I have him in fantasy, and it's very disappointing. But
really?
Yep.
It's
already
funny.
Ruled out.
Really? That's very surprising considering the fact that he was a game time decision for week 1.
Yep. I'm very sad. He's my flex in fantasy. I'm trying to trade him. It's just not going to happen.
Probably not.
Nope. Nobody wants him, and it makes me sad. Going on to the Texans' opponent, Duval's home opener, Jags versus Broncos. A team that, in my opinion, underachieved week 1 versus a team that, in my opinion, overachieved in week 1.
I mean, as somebody who watched the entire Broncos game last week, they looked terrific. I give so much props to Teddy Bridgewater because probably nobody thought that he was going to be able to go in there and have a game that he had. They've got a great O-line that buys him a lot of time. The defense looks great. Von Miller is Von Miller again.
Yeah. Oh, Von Miller is always going to be Von Miller.
This is a potentially scary Broncos team for the first time since
sorry, I yawned.
Since Super Bowl, what was it, 51?
I believe so. I don't know Super Bowl names. I know what years, but
either way, Peyton Manning's last season.
Exactly. Yeah, the last time Peyton Manning played football. The Broncos, in my opinion, Teddy Bridgewater is not a great starting quarterback. I feel like it's just not smart to start him over Drew Lock when you took Drew Lock in a draft. He was your quarterback of the future. That just kind of shows how bad Drew Lock is, where he's so much
He's
younger.
Also really bad at putting on masks.
So is Cam Newton, apparently.
I love that. Do you know that video that I'm talking about?
No.
There's a video of Drew Lock from last season, and he keeps trying to. I can't believe you've never seen this. He tries to put on like 3 masks, and every time the thing that goes around his ear snaps, and he has to keep asking. He's like, "Oh, can I get another one? It broke." And he's like, "It broke again."
That's kind of funny.
That video.
That's kind of funny. Honestly, I don't have much to say. I have the Jags winning. Trevor Lawrence is going to come out on a mission. He was the first round. He's a first round pick or first overall pick for a reason. Him and Urban Meyer got something to prove this week, and they're playing a worse team than they played last week, in my opinion. Better defense. I just think the Giants are a better team.
So you really think that?
Or I think
you think that the Broncos are a worse team than the Texans? That's a bold take.
They have their things. I think the Texans have a better offense. In my opinion, probably a better quarterback. I just don't think Teddy Bridgewater's that guy. Definitely have a better receiver. Brandon Cooks is better than every receiver on the Broncos.
Should have started him in fantasy last week. I didn't.
Yeah, neither did I. I started Brandon Ayuk over him. But besides the point, obviously better running backs. I mean, they have like 3 starting quality running backs.
I feel like my ring light is dying for some reason. It just doesn't seem as bright anymore.
Yeah, but you're probably just used to it. Because it was
no. I feel like look at me. My lighting is definitely darker.
You gotta invest in a webcam, big dog.
Yeah, I know. Can we cut for 2 seconds so I can get up and turn on the light?
No. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It just got like progressively darker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn on this light. But I've noticed that my head has kind of been blocking that, so it'll give the light, but it just won't be like super in the camera.
Yeah.
Maybe it might just be running out of batteries. I don't really know. Does it get? Oh, it looks like it gets charged. Oh, hey, wait. I don't have another.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Sorry, dude.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna keep it on.
We just gotta hurry it up because it's almost 1 and I got work.
Right. Okay.
So where were we? But all right.
Basically, we were at the part where I was surprised that you're taking Jacksonville over Denver. I'll take Denver.
Cool. I think my
swanky.
Yeah, I think my pick is a little out there, but I'm gonna stick with it. That's what my gut told me to do.
All right.
Next is Saints versus Panthers, 2 teams that came out and kind of showed out week 1. I mean,
the Panthers showing out week 1.
They won, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think I think he had a better game than Wilson.
I don't think so. I think Zach Wilson had a very underrated start to his career.
Oh, come on, he had 1 good play.
I like Zach Wilson. Everybody knows I like Zach Wilson.
That's true. You do.
I'm a big Zach Wilson guy. Big guy.
Big Zach Wilson guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the best in the draft class, but he definitely has the potential to be. I really like. I lost it in my notes. My bad. I really like how Jameis Winston played. He threw for 5 touchdowns, right?
I'm sorry, you got to repeat that.
He threw for 5 touchdowns, right? I don't.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm making that up. And then he had a hilarious post-game interview. Did you see his post-game interview?
I did not.
His post-game interview was like, they asked him a question. He goes, I just think it's really important for us to be prepared. And then he's like stumbling over his words, and he's like, yeah. And then we were prepared.
Was it that he had 5, or was it that he and Kyler combined had 5?
I think he had 5.
I don't know why I thought I saw something saying that he and Kyler Murray both combined for 5 touchdowns. Granted, I don't know why they would be combining him with Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Well, now I gotta Google it.
I'm taking the Saints here.
Jameis Winston threw for 5 touchdowns.
Oh, so he did throw for 5
and less than 150 passing yards. That is crazy. That is crazy. So I'm taking the Saints also.
Yeah. Now that week 1 game against Green Bay, it's so weird because I was saying this to you earlier, but I'll say it again. I can't tell if that was a game where Green Bay had some kinks to work out, or if that was a game where the Saints absolutely popped off. Maybe it was a little bit of both. Either way, to me, Carolina didn't look that impressive in their win. So I give this one to the Saints.
I think Carolina did look impressive. I mean, I still think the Jets are a competent football team, even with all the injuries that they've had. But I think the Saints definitely looked a lot more impressive because they played the Packers and they played well against the Packers. It's still Aaron Rodgers. It's still Aaron Jones. It's still Devontae Adams. Like,
Right.
definitely, they all had bad games, but it's still some of the best players in football, and you stomped them. And Aaron Rodgers had like the first horrible game of his career, so that's crazy.
Right.
Next game we got is Rams versus Colts. I think this one's easy.
This is an easy one.
Rams
I
looked
think in
very
my
well.
notes, I literally had, yeah, where is it? I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure I literally wrote 2 words: Matthew Stafford. He
Matt
looked
Stafford.
great.
Oh, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He looked amazing. Didn't he go like 16 for 19 passing?
I'm honestly not sure. I did not watch this game, and I don't remember why. This
He
was the
looked
Sunday night game, right?
This was a Sunday night game. I wasn't
Oh,
home
I
for it.
was I was watching the Mets and the Yankees.
Fair enough. You are a
Sorry.
Yankees fan.
We
Um,
lost though, so was it worth it? No.
I wasn't home. I couldn't watch the game. But what I saw highlights wise, I mean, the Rams just looked like the Rams from last year, but 10 times better because they have a 10 times better quarterback,
Agreed.
which is crazy because Jared Goff looked surprisingly well with the Lions.
He was probably, I mean, he's the quarterback. Of course, he's got to look the best. I say he definitely looked the best on that Lion squad.
He looked very good, but Matt Stafford just looked 11 times better than him,
Oh yeah, for sure.
which is crazy. And the Colts just didn't impress me week one. That's
Yeah, no,
that's
they didn't.
that's really it. Like just nothing crazy.
Sure, they put up some points against Seattle, but I don't know, nothing really too impressive in my eyes.
And Russell Wilson had a perfect QBR, MVP through 10 weeks every year. So
Right. So he's got what, about 8-9 weeks left of that.
yeah, he's got about like 8 weeks left of being about a cute like the fourth best quarterback in fantasy, and then he's gonna drop off, not even be top 10 by the end of the season. Crazy. Crazy how Russell Wilson works.
Super crazy.
Uh
Next game.
Bills versus Dolphins. Bills played my Steelers week one. They looked very good in the first half, not very good in the second half. And I believe the Dolphins beat the Patriots week one.
Yes.
So I mean, both teams looked decent. The Bills are still ranked in the top 10 in power rankings, which is crazy. Even after the way that they lost in the second half, they kind of folded. But the Bills are still the Bills, even though they don't have some of the players that they had last year, or they aren't performing the way they have been last year, or they did last year. I don't think Josh Allen is as good as, or is going to be as good as he was last year. But I still got the Bills winning. I mean, it's the Bills versus the Dolphins, man. At the end of the day, you could just go by a pure talent perspective. And if one team completely overpowers another team talent wise, that's just kind of how it should work.
Mac Jones. Sorry, I'm thinking. So I was thinking about
The other side.
I was thinking about the week one game. But I think that Tua is. I think that Tua is a great quarterback. They get Will Fuller back from his suspension. Devontae Parker is obviously still there. Mike Gesicki. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough to beat the Buffalo Bills.
I agree. Buffalo Bills just have a super crazy offense, plus a very solid defense. I mean, they got Micah Hyde. Who's their safety on the other side? They got a very good safety on the other side. Better than Micah Hyde, but I can't remember his name for some reason. Tremaine Edmonds, Tre'Davious White. Who's on their line? They have a very good D lineman that I can't remember.
I just really think that Buffalo is going to be able to look back at the tape against Pittsburgh and very easily fix their mistakes.
I don't know.
A majority of them.
I don't know if it's that easy though. I mean, a blocked punt you can't really do much about. And then a great pass in the end zone, toe tap. You can't really play much better defense than they played on that pass. And Steelers
That's a good point.
still scored.
Steelers defense was just really locked down too.
Exactly. I mean,
Either way,
Bills was to an extent.
I still think that they're going to be able to look back at the tape, see what
Improve.
they didn't like that they did, and find ways to perform better.
But they're also not playing the Steelers defense. They're playing Tua Tagovailoa in his second year. A
Right.
wide receiver that hasn't played with the team, a rookie wide receiver. It's tough. It's not playing the same team. They're playing very much worse team in the Miami
I know
Dolphins.
that, but they're not going to be like, oh, let's not worry about this because it's only the Miami Dolphins. They're still gonna, I think that they've got a couple of things that they got to work out. I think they're going to wind up being things that they accomplish easily, and they're going to look really good against Miami.
I agree. Next game, we got the teams that have lost, but it's a rookie quarterback matchup. Patriots versus Jets. Mac Jones versus Zach Wilson. Who do you got, Dan? I want you to bring us into this.
These were the notes that I started to read because I heard Miami and I thought Miami, New England, and for some reason my mind stayed with New England. Mac Jones had a great game against Miami. New York did not perform well against the Panthers. I think this is a comfortable Patriots pick.
I agree. I think the Patriots.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but the whole Dolphins Patriots game, I didn't get to see the ending because at this point I was watching the Giants Broncos game. I'm pretty sure it came down to like one of the final couple of plays. I think somebody from New England made some sort of mistake, and I think it might have led to a turnover. I'm not 100% sure. But this was a very, very good game. But in the Alabama Bowl between Mac Jones and Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
New York, obviously, the Jets. They're the Jets. They didn't impress me. I think that Mac Jones gets his first NFL win.
I agree. I mean, I have the Patriots winning. Just simple that the Jets defense, their secondary isn't that good. I mean, their front seven's still pretty solid, even with all the injuries. It's still fairly decent. I just don't think their secondary is going to be enough to keep up with the firepower that the Patriots have on offense.
I agree.
And the Patriots defense is amazing. It has been for the past few years, and it continues to be. Next game, Bengals versus Bears. One team that way went over expectations, and one team that's the Chicago Bears.
I'm just gonna say this. I won't really talk much about this game. The only way the Bears win this game is if they start Justin Fields.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Bengals win it.
The Bears are not gonna get much love on this podcast unless two things happen. One, they start Justin Fields.
And I'm a Penn State fan too, so I absolutely hate Justin Fields.
I love Justin Fields.
If he doesn't start, the Bears will not win.
Two, second way that the Bears get any love on this podcast is if Matt is here. The only
or Mana.
But man, it's not going to be a podcast feature. That's one of our friends. Is another Chicago Bears fan. But this is the only two times the Bears are going to get love. If not, they either have to have a very good matchup for them to get a win, or they have to put in Justin Fields because Justin Fields is the answer. Andy Dalton is not. Call him Andrew.
I don't even know if I would pick them to beat the Jets if it was Andy Dalton starting.
Yeah,
that would be a very, very close game.
At certain points, you got to look at the defense, though. Khalil Mack is top 3 defender in football. Possibly.
I saw something on, I think it might have been on Instagram the other day. And it was like, you have a top 15 wide receiver in Allen Robinson, and they had his route chart, and there was like no routes that were more than 10 yards.
Yeah, it's like
send him deep. Dalton, warm your arm up and just shoot it down the field to Allen Robinson. He'll catch it. He's down there. He'll catch it.
Andy Dalton, I'm a Steelers fan. I've watched Andy Dalton struggle against us his whole career. That's not his fault. Andy Dalton is a competent quarterback. I genuinely feel like at this point in the Chicago Bears timeline, they have to look at getting rid of Matt Nagy. I
think so too.
I don't think any Bears fans are going to agree with me. And if you do, thanks. But I just don't think he's that good of a head coach. They've had the personnel. They've had the talent on the field. They just haven't got it done. And
How
I think it's smart. I think it's smart that they're not pulling what they did with Mitch Trubisky. Just throw him in there, feed him to the wolves. I I like that they're gonna ease him into it, make sure that he's ready to start because it's not like a win now mode. But I just don't think Matt Nagy is the answer.
if you had to give a ballpark guess, how long has he been the coach of the Bears?
Um, I genuinely have no clue.
Okay, well, in his tenure, he missed the playoffs last year at 8-8. He lost to the Eagles on the double doinker. If he was a coach, if he was a manager in the MLB, he'd be fired by now.
Let's see. Matt Nagy was on the Chiefs for a while. It looks like Matt Nagy's been with the Bears for either 3 or 4 seasons.
If the Bears
I believe
ownership really doesn't see what he hasn't done in the last 3 or 4 seasons, there's something wrong with them. I think it's time to move on.
they've made the playoffs twice. It was that
in 4 seasons under, and how far did they go? No more than the first round.
no wins. They're 0-2. His record as a coach for the Bears is 28-20. So that's probably closer to 5 seasons. But
So that's the only beneficial thing that you can say is that he's
Made
over
the play.
500.
and he's made the playoffs twice.
Fair.
But just
That's probably two things that you couldn't say about Ben McAdoo and I can't remember the other one who's the offensive coordinator for the Broncos, Pat Shurmur.
the only McAdoo that I know is Bob.
Oh, that's really quickly. Another reason why I think that the Broncos will really succeed is because of the fact that they have Teddy Bridgewater working with Pat Shurmur again from when they worked together in Minnesota. I think that's going to be really beneficial for Bridgewater, and that could be one of the reasons why Denver really has a successful season.
Next game that we got, I don't think it's going to be much to talk about. Just like the Rams game wasn't much to talk about. Falcons versus Bucks. The Bucks looked like the best team in the NFL in the first week, and the Falcons secondary looked like one of the worst. Give me Tom Brady torching this defense for 5 touchdowns this week.
I literally said the Falcons did not look good at all against the Eagles. There's no way they'll be able to handle Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
There's no way. There's no way. Tom Brady, just the simple fact that they're just going to outscore them. Like Matt Ryan's going to make mistakes, and they just don't use Kyle Pitts for some reason. But that's besides the point. It's whatever. I just don't think there's just no way. There's no way that they keep up.
Yeah, plus, they absolutely wasted the highest drafted tight end last week.
Yeah, like what? But whatever. The Bucks defense is also amazing. So there's just no, in my opinion, no shot.
Godwin looks really good also week 1.
Yes, sir. You know who else
that
did?
Fumble at the end zone. But other than that, he looked good.
You know who else looked good?
Who else looked good?
Used to play for my team. It's crazy because he is played like a wide receiver 1, and he almost froze off his feet 2 years ago. Antonio Brown.
He looked really good. Yeah, I don't think anybody expected him to come out and do what he did.
You know who did?
You.
I said it on the podcast.
I'm sure you did. Like I knew that AB was gonna be good. I just didn't think he was gonna be that good.
If there's
I give him a lot of respect.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't give him as much respect as I used to.
I feel like he's got a lot more people going against him than going for him, which is, good for him for proving all of these people, including me, wrong.
If there's any mind in football that I will blindly trust, it's Bruce Arians. I love Bruce Arians. And Bruce Arians came out, I'm sure I said it last week, and said that Antonio Brown looks like 2015-16 Antonio Brown when he was the best receiver in the league. And if he was the best receiver in the league in 2015 and 2016, then he would be the best receiver in the league now.
Wasn't Bruce Arians the coordinator for
Steelers?
Yeah.
Yep, you work for the Steelers. I wanted him as our head coach. It's tough. Next game. Don't want to spend too much time. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. Got 5 games left. Vikings versus Cardinals. Cardinals defense looked amazing. Chandler Jones is going to break the sack record this year. I don't care what anybody says.
Wow.
Chandler
Okay.
Jones.
I mean, he's on the right track. He's on a
Oh,
good pace so
definitely.
far.
I mean,
Granted, we're 1 week in.
on this pace, he'll have 85 sacks this season, so he'll just destroy it. Vikings looked underwhelming. Kirk Cousins did not look as good as I thought he would. Justin Jefferson did not look as good as I thought he would.
I don't know why so many people are. I said this after we recorded last week's episode. I thought I was sleeping on Minnesota, and I don't think I am. I think everybody else is very high on them, and I'm not. And I could be right.
You could be. I mean, I have the Cardinals winning for the simple fact that their defense is locked down and they got crazy weapons on offense. And I just don't think that
Right.
the Vikings defense can hold Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I'm taking Arizona here.
I might have been 1 year off. Kyler Murray MVP season incoming.
Is he going to be the next Russell Wilson with that? Or maybe through the first like 8 or 9, maybe he doesn't reach 10, 11 like Russ, 8 or 9 weeks. That's the whole thing. Kyler Murray MVP.
No, he had a good year last year. He had a good finish to the year last year too. That's better than what Russell Wilson does.
No, I'm just saying. Do you think he has potential to like?
Yeah.
Be in that sense, be the next Russell Wilson of having millions of people say that you're going to be the MVP up until a certain week, and then it changes to Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Even though they'd probably all be retired by the time that it's Kyler Murray alone with no Russell Wilson.
Not Mahomes. Mahomes is going to be in
NFL
for a long time.
Mahomes. My bad. But yeah, Brady and Rodgers will probably be gone by then.
But you got Cardinals winning?
Yes.
Cool. Next game, Titans versus Seahawks. I feel like the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I don't feel like. I know that they just didn't play good week 1.
Yeah, what happened there?
They played the Cardinals defense, and the Cardinals defense is very good. Very good. I mean, I'm not even gonna talk it up. I got the Titans winning.
I'm torn on this one.
It's tough. It's a tough game because
right?
Russell Wilson in the first half of the season is Russell Wilson in the first half of the season. Tyler Lockett looked amazing week 1. DK looked good for when he was targeted, and Chris Carson, not great, but not bad.
I feel like one of the only reasons, I guess one of the only ways Tennessee wins this is if they manage to cover Lockett. He had an insane game last week.
Tennessee's defense scares me.
I probably should be saying Tennessee. I'm gonna go Seattle.
I don't think that's a bad pick. I don't think that's a bad pick. Next game.
That was that one that I probably filled in last. That was a tough one to really decide.
This game's also really tough. Chargers, Cowboys. 2 teams that looked very good week 1.
Not for me. This wasn't a tough decision for me.
You're a Giants fan. You took the Chargers.
No.
You took the Cowboys?
Dallas looked so good against Tampa Bay. That defense, we're 1 game in, besides the Giants and the football team. We're 1 game in. Nobody expected them to put up the numbers that they did against. I think a lot of people had picked Tampa Bay to win. Nobody expected it to go down to Tom Brady with 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Not a soul.
Didn't Dak have over like 400 yards?
Yeah, around that. Definitely
around that, right? I can't remember if the 4 was in the hundreds or the tens place. I apologize.
He had like 60 attempts. So
that for me was comforting to see from Dak. I wasn't super concerned about his arm. I was more concerned about his mental game with the injury that he had against the Giants.
Yeah.
With being able to trust that ankle, because as as somebody who had a dislocated kneecap and fears every day of it slipping out again because it was the worst pain I ever experienced, he like I give him, he's got to really know and be comfortable with his ability of how much and what he can and what he can't do with that ankle. I'm sure it's definitely successfully and properly healed by now. I
Mhm.
just, I know that if I was in that position, it would always be something that sits in the back of my mind.
Oh no, I agree, but I'm taking the Chargers. Um, but I think you're forgetting two very very big factors:
Let me hear him.
Michael Gallup, Dexter Lawrence.
Okay.
Two players.
Um,
Michael Gallup's out for at least a month, and Dexter Lawrence just broke his foot. Dexter Lawrence is out for at least 2 months.
it there's another Dexter Lawrence.
I'm saying his name wrong. DeMarcus Lawrence.
I was about to say Dexter Lawrence plays the Giants.
Yeah, I know.
He just cost us the game tonight. So thank you for reminding me, Danny.
It's 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. Give me a break. DeMarcus Lawrence broke his foot. Okay.
The only thing I'll say about Michael Gallup is that the Cowboys managed to do as well as they did, and he only had 36 yards.
Oh no, but he's still a factor on the field.
Sure, but I still think that Dak will manage without Michael Gallup.
I agree.
As long as he's got Amari Cooper, he's good.
This is game.
Amari Cooper looked really good.
This is game of the week material.
Yeah, it's America's team.
No, it's not.
I hate that. I hate the Cowboys for saying they're America's team.
I just hate the Cowboys.
I mean, I do too. But like I saw something, they're like, oh, Cowboys fans said that they're like America's team, yet like 76% or 86% of America picked for the Buccaneers to beat them.
Nobody likes the Cowboys. Moving on though, Chiefs Ravens. I think this is also a very easy game. It's probably the best team in football or second best team in football, depending on how you look at it, against the Baltimore Ravens, who have way too many injuries for their own good. Kansas City Chiefs.
Mahomes is gonna walk all over Baltimore, and
Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce are gonna have like so many yards.
This win will be summed up in 6 words. Fuck it, Tyreek down there somewhere. I love that he like acknowledged that and like answered that question about that whole meme. Like I don't know. I just get a kick out of that. He's such a great guy, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing with Kelce too. Kelce's in the middle there somewhere.
Oh, right. I know. I love the fact that like the whole meme got acknowledged, and he was like, yeah, sometimes it really is like that. He kind of just throws it down, just he's down there somewhere. I love that.
But like, if you think about it, what if Patrick Mahomes just isn't that good? He just has a strong arm, and he's like gets confused and just kind of like throws the ball as hard as he can, and then Tyreek Hill's just like underneath it. Such a touchdown.
I don't think so.
Oh no, I don't think so. I think Mahomes.
If Mahomes wasn't a good quarterback, he wouldn't be able to throw it side-armed as accurate as he does.
Oh no, I've been very vocal about the fact that I think Mahomes is the most talented quarterback of all time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Brady is still the better quarterback, but I feel like Mahomes has more skill.
Yeah, if you break it down to like aspects of the game, I think Mahomes is the most well-rounded out of every quarterback that has ever played football.
I mean, wasn't he a multi-sport athlete like Kyler Murray? Didn't he also play baseball? Yeah.
Yep. I mean, his dad played baseball.
Makes sense also as to why he's now a part owner of the Kansas City Royals.
Yes, sir. And final game, Packers Lions. 2 teams that didn't look good. One team definitely looked better than the other. Lions look better than the Packers week 1.
This just seems like such like a classic game. I don't know what it is. Packers Lions. I don't know. Like I don't know.
Thanksgiving game. It's a Thanksgiving game.
Right. Maybe that's what I love about it so much.
You think of football, you think of Lions versus Packers. You don't know why. You don't like either one of the teams. Nobody likes either one of the teams. You think Lions versus Packers. It makes sense. And you know what else makes sense? The Packers winning makes sense. Always does, always will, no matter who's on each team. Packers winning.
Yeah, it makes even more sense when they're doing it from the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Yeah, give me the Packers.
Yeah, give me the Packers, man. All right, I'm tired. Let's take it home, Studer. Let's take it home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of Dan and Danny Talk Sports, aka the No Shot Sports Podcast. Danny, any final thoughts before I really send it off?
Nope. I'm about to go 16-0 this week.
Yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much. Don't forget to leave a review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. My name is Dan Suter. That's Danny Gulix. The Giants upset me. Have a great night.
Yes, sir.